Hello and welcome back to another CDA lap guide video. My name's Bart and today I'll be taking you for a ride around the Laguna Seca circuit in the FIA 4 car in iRacing. Here's a hot lap. Okay, heading down the main straight at Laguna Seca now into the first corner, probably one of the more tricky corners on the track. Kind of a double apex hairpin, although we're going to ignore the double part. Braking reference, very easy. There's a white line they've drawn here for us. We're going to use it. We're braking just after this, where this three board is pretty much. Relatively hard here, the brakes. Please get your tyres all the way to the right here. See, even slightly over the white line as well. Hard here, the brakes. Try and keep the wheels as straight as possible. Very, very, very easy to lock up. Straight braking initially until I've reached about that white line there. Then I'm going to start pointing the car in to the corner. My biggest piece of advice for this corner is don't worry about the double apex part of it. It's a very long hairpinny thing. Try to just one apex point, one minimum speed point, which is like here, where you want to have the car at the slowest point, the corner. So just try to be braking all the way into that point, and then accelerating from there rather than worry about trying to stop for this apex. Otherwise, you're going to just mess yourself up massively. So don't worry if you're braking still at this point. You should be braking through this apex curve. Ignore it completely from that point of view. And that should help you brake later and not panic as much with locking up and whatever. All right, down to second gear. You see it's a late gear change. I struggled a lot here with losing the rear end of the car. Having a delayed gear change into second really helped it for me. So basically, wait, down to second gear, and then straight away get on throttle. That'll settle the rear for you. Not to full throttle, just some throttle. Come off the steering, be smooth. Be right up to the red bump on the inside curb here. Let the car run out nicely onto the exit curve at this point. Move back over to the left-hand side now for the second corner. A little bit tricky to do because you see it's not entirely straight on the run up here. It's slightly turned the whole way around, so don't get caught out by that. Try not to brake on the dirt. References, braking basically in the middle between the two board and the one board. Very soft brake, just enough to turn the car. This is a corner where it's literally a case of if you're understeering, brake more. If you're oversteering, brake a bit softer. Very easy to control the balance of the car at this point. Very simple corner, not much going on, just don't be early. If you slide too late, it's not the end of the world. If you slide too early, you're going to get on throttle early, you're going to run into the dirt. It's not ideal. So try to be late if you can here or bang on. Kind of meet the apex curve around the back end or towards the end of that red bump on the inside. Nice to get hooked up onto that inside curve. Should be full throttle straight away there. I don't want you messing about gaining throttle. We don't want to cause any understeer. Let's get to throttle nice and quickly at that point. Use all the exit there. You can get away in terms of off tracks with dropping a wheel, but it's not ideal for lap time in this car. Use all this entry curb here. So we move back to the right-hand side, off the curve, and then back onto this entry curb here to open the corner up flat out as we turn in, okay? Flat out as we turn in. See, I lift, and then I usually graze the brakes or fully lift. Somewhere it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle between like a tiny brake and a full lift. I'm not going to prescribe either one. Just see what you need for rotation. Basically, you want to spend the smallest amount of time possible not being full throttle. So just full throttle on the entry, and then lift quickly to turn the car, or brake a little bit. But you should be flat as you actually initially turn in. But that rotation, you see at this point, the corner, comes because I have the lift. Rotate. But we can't rotate anymore because we're going to hit the inside curb. So that's the thing. that's limiting us there. Otherwise, we just cut the inside completely. Okay, let the car run out to the outside curb there. Up to 5th gear now. Get back over to the right-hand side of the track. Make sure you're braking past this white line, okay? See, I'm braking after it. I find that's very, very important. Do not brake early. You can get a lot of time from braking late. Closest to this 2 board as a reference. Not a very hard brake hit. Smooth on the brake control. Don't turn in too early. Easy to get lockups here because it's cambered on the entry, so the left tire's unloaded. Very easy to cause it to lock up as there's no contact with the ground for it really on the entry. So just try and be straight on the wheel is the main thing. Nice brake, straight. Down to 4th gear. Be patient turning in so we reach the camber around the back end of this curb. If you're in early, okay, it's not the end of the world here because the camber kind of saves you, but you're going to be like this on the throttle pedal, like on, off, on, off, on, off. So it's not ideal for lap time. If you can get in nice and just hooked around the end of this curbing, that'll do very well for you. Pick up the throttle aggressively once you get it rotated. Let the car run out to the exit curb. It's generally a pretty good sign. If you're hitting this curb kind of front on, like all the way wide and then hitting the front of it, you kind of bump up a bit and that loses you a little bit of time. So if you can run onto it from the side, it's a bit nicer. That usually means you're getting the corner right in terms of where you're braking. All right, so use all the entry curb here on the right-hand side, even though it's kind of pointed down, sloping the wrong way. We need it to open up this quick left-hander now. References braking just before this white line on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side of the track. Very soft brake just to pitch the car. You do need a brake. You can technically do it with a lift, but it's too slow for me. You just want to get that really sharp rotation. We want a very soft brake for that. Get the car into the camber, down to 4th gear. Very briefly. Again, you can do it in 5th. I just think 4th, I found 4th gives you the drive up the hill. But if you're going to do 4th, straight to full. Like as soon as you down change, watch me, 4th and then full throttle straight away. Whatever you do, I need you on the throttle before you land in this compression. Okay, we need to be on throttle, pretty much full throttle in this compression. Try and get as close to that red inside curve as possible without hitting it. Full throttle to drive up the hill. We need to drive all the way up this hill. Okay, trying to run the dirt if possible, but it's going to happen sometimes. Back to the left-hand side now. Really important here that we have our car in parallel with the left-hand side white line when we reach this horizontal white line here. Good reference. Turn in. Right, should be flat out, and then braking basically just before this white line. There's a white line either side of the track here as a reference, but I want the car pointing over the hill this way. Braking hard initially in 5th gear. Bleed out of the brake now. So as you go over the hill, the car's going to want to lock up, especially if this car really wants to lock up. So we're going to bleed out of the brake, lower the pressure to like 20%. And then as we go back down the hill again, because if you're going over a crest, imagine this is the car, and we're going over the hill. As it goes over, the front tires aren't in contact with the ground anymore. It's as if they're going over a ramp. And when that happens, they're not going to be able to do any braking. So that's when you lock up and you get sliding at the front tires. So to avoid that, that's why we reduce the pressure. So initially a hard hit, so you can still be late on the brakes. Hard, soft, preempt the hill. And then as you go over the crest, you can start to reapply the brake pressure into this corner. Down to 3rd gear now. You can see I'm using all the track here. That's all because of the positioning I did before. How we want it as straight as possible before we start to hit the brake. Down to 3rd gear. Should deviate from the end of the curve on the right-hand side now. Turn in nicely. You can do 2nd. I think 3rd's much better because you have to short shift from the exit because of the inside wheel spin down the hill. It's pretty bad. 3rd gear. Very smooth in the steering. I found being very accurate here is very important. If you just it's super easy to creep onto the inside curve here. By creep, I mean I feel like I'm going to miss the corner. I'm going to turn in. You just slowly turn in like that or turn out. Try to just wait, stop the car. Okay, I'm off the brake now, rotate. So really defining that rotation point and where you're trying to release the brake and get that, apply the lock on the steering. Try to be smooth on the steering. Yeah, one input. Use all that curb. There's a lot of camber down there, as you can see. Get on throttle now. Get over the hill. It's a bit insane, this bit, but with the corkscrew the way it is, the car's not going to be very happy, but oh well. Turn over the hill. The car's going to wheel spin. It just always does with this car. That's why, again, I like 3rd, because 2nd, you just get tons of wheel spin. You get a one-tire fire going on, so better to just keep in 3rd, I think. Get to full throttle as you go over the crest, kind of half throttle as it's spinning. Full once it lands in the compression. Don't need to let the car run wide. Bring the car back over to the right-hand side as much as you can. If you can be like half a car away from the white line, that's bang on. Never be on the white line there. You should never be that wide. It's too much work to get back. But if you can be within a car width, and like I said, ideally half a car width away from the right-hand side, you're doing a very good job. Up to 4th, smooth in the steering. If you get it bang on, this is flat. It's very hard to do. I was quite late on my steering input, very smooth in the steering, and managed to get it hooked up. Try to get this inside curve. That's the main thing. If you need to lift a little bit, you need to lift a little bit. It won't cost you that much lap time. smooth the steering up to 5th gear. You shouldn't be on that exit curb. Back over to the left-hand side now. Get onto this entry curb. Soft brake. Point the car in before you brake at this point. If you brake in a straight line of turn, you just miss the camber. Look at the bowl of camber we've got here. It's like a corner on an oval track. We need to use all the banking, all the camber, get down low in this camber. So I don't want you braking a straight line and missing the corner completely. That's not maximizing what we've got here. Let's try to use all the grip on the inside. Get the car turned in before we hit the brake. Soft brake, carry lots of speed. It should feel like the car's almost out of control in the entry, and the corner's going to catch you here. We're sliding in. I get a little bit of a movement on the rear. That's fine. We just hang on to it. In 4th, pick up some throttle to kind of put some weight onto the rear axle. Just relaxes the car a little bit. We're going downhill, so that's why I was a bit upset on the entry. It's going to sit in this in the compression here in the banking. Get to full throttle as soon as you get onto that inside curb. Let the steering out as much as you can. Use all the outside curb. Quickly back to the right. This is one of the best examples in the world of people being lazy. It's very, very hard to get all the way back from the left to the right. So make sure you do it with low lap time if you're doing it. Someone else is not. Every single lap, very consistent. If we're consistent with our positioning, it's going to make our braking more consistent. It's going to make your exits more consistent. Okay, so full throttle at this point, braking at the 2 board now. Hard hit of the brake, straight line braking, nothing complicated. It's just a hairpin, 2nd gear. If you can brake late, if you can brake hard, if you can hold that brake pressure efficiently, you're doing a good job. Rotate the car, come off the brake as you apply the lock. Get right up to the inside curb, shorten the distance as much as possible, patient. Get on the throttle in 2nd. First does not really work. Too much wheel spin. You can use more curb here, but I find in this car it's nice to just get it rotated, get off the corner. Don't need to take all the extra space. And just keep the car as straight as possible on the run to the line, and that's a lap at Laguna Seca. All right, then, so that brings us towards the end of the video now. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And you can also find a link to the Coach Dave Academy Discord in the YouTube video description. Hope you enjoyed the video. My name's Bart, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.